It's a beautiful morning here at Weary Feet Hostel. Julie, who runs it, was super nice. Awesome spot here. Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful morning. We're heading south again, trying to hit 20 miles to camp tonight. The challenge for today is water. Looks like there's no water for almost 18 miles. So I did pack a little bit of extra. I usually only carry a liter. I've got a little more than a liter and a half on a cold day like this. I hope that'll get me through most of the day. But I'm excited to see what the day is going to bring, and excited to get back on the trail. Things are looking pretty frosty this morning. Brr. Glad I was in a warm bed last night at the hostel. Well, I know I've been talking about this for a while and you're probably sick of hearing about it, but I have locked in my decision to get off trail at Atkins and then go down to Davenport Gap and do the Smoky Mountains. There's just no trail chatter about what's down south. Here at the Weary Feet Hostel, Julie said I'm the only hiker she's seen since the hurricane. I was with the trail crew yesterday. I was giving them intel on the trail. Yesterday was their first expedition on the trail between Bland and Atkins. And they won't even consider going in south of Atkins to assess the trail because it's still closed by the National Forest Service. So there's just a lot of unknowns. I mean, the trail maintaining clubs aren't even allowed in yet. Nobody knows what's there. And then the big kicker is, if I go past Atkins, my next resupply is Damascus, which, you know, I've heard lots of things about how bad a shape Damascus is in. And I have an interactive map on my phone of the trail, and I'm poking around. I'm not finding anybody commenting on anything really south of Atkins, except I found one comment in Damascus from a couple days ago where one of the hostels says, due to unsafe trail conditions, we are now closed for the season. You know, there's been the argument that, hey, these communities, they're waiting for hikers to come back to bring money into their local economies. I don't think they're waiting for us right now. I think the damage has been too severe, and they've closed shop for the season. So it just makes sense to jump to Davenport Gap. I mean, there's shuttle services for places in this closed section between Atkins and Davenport Gap saying, hey, we'd love to come pick you up and shuttle you, please. We have to pay the bills. The trails are all closed around here. A little crazy. I mean, it's tough. You know, you don't want to quit or give up, but sometimes sense and logic and reality has to rule out. Now, there also is the option of, there are bits and pieces. It's like a Swiss cheese. Bits and pieces of trail that have been opened by the National Forest Service. That doesn't mean anybody's walked it or trail maintainers have been on it, but there are small sections you could kind of jump around, but that just doesn't make sense to me either. It's my vision of this was just a continuous walk from one end of the country to the other. So at any rate, I think I feel good about that. I think it's my best option. There's the saying, what is that saying? The saying is, almost perfect is good enough. I mean, sometimes we strive so hard for perfection. Oh, let me get this last inch, this last mile I can possibly do on the trail. And just it's that last 5% it's not worth it sometimes. You know, if you can get the 95% to perfection, sometimes that's good enough. I just had a little text conversation with the only SOBOs I know in front of me, and kind of validates my decision. Looks like they went about 12 miles past where I'm planning to go. Right now they're hanging out at a relative's house, talking about trying to find ways to volunteer in the Damascus and Irwin areas before they jump down to Davenport Gap. So that does make me feel a little better about my decision, to be honest. You know, if they were braving through and going down, I'd feel a little bit like a wimp, I guess, that I didn't try to do that. But I don't know. That's what I get for comparing myself to others, right? You're not supposed to do that. Hike your own hike. But it's great validation for me. Another one of these rat snakes. This one really did just about get stepped on. There he goes. I just looked at my map and realized I'm at mile 1602.8. I broke 1600. Go me. All right. Let's see how many more we can get. Well, today has been the definition of green tunnel hiking. Pretty much the whole day has looked like this. And there's nothing wrong with that. Especially if you like green tunnels. Well, we got out of the green tunnel. This is a 1.5 mile road walk that has a bridge that goes over I-77. And here is I-77. All right, well, this is the best view we've had so far. Might as well take a moment to enjoy it. And now we've got some power line views. No complaints. Haven't seen much today. This is all good. Well, youngest son of mine, here's where I've hung my hammock for tonight. Watching the sunset on this ridge. Beautiful spot. There's the Appalachian Trail right over there. Well, today went pretty well. The first few miles today, there was a lot of trees down, but the chainsaw guys had been through, and so it was cleared out pretty well, but you could tell they had a lot of work to do. Then after that, there really were a lot of blowdowns without the chainsaws coming through. It wasn't really crazy bad, except for maybe a couple were a bit of a pain to get around. But after lunch, even that cleared up. The trail was in pretty great shape. But it's back to cold mornings, no more staying in hostels for me. It turns out my wife probably isn't going to be able to pick me up for another day, a day later than originally planned. So I don't know. Maybe I can sit back and enjoy it. That's why I stopped here. I arrived here in plenty of time, but who can turn down a camp spot like this? I couldn't today. Hey, thanks everyone for watching. It's been a pleasure to hike the Appalachian Trail with you. Have a good night.